33 goals on this opening Premier League weekend. It's been so exciting, but none so far in our final game between Spurs and the champions Manchester City. What have you made of the first 45 minutes, Alan?
Both teams could do with a centre-forward and stick the ball in the back of the net, couldn't they? That's what they've missed. It's been a bit hesitant in front of goal from both teams. Man City put Spurs under pressure in the first 15 or 20 minutes, had one or two chances. Spurs saw that through and then gradually got into the game and then were a threat on the break. So they'll be reasonably pleased with that first half, I think, Spurs, because they've defended well when they've had to, and then they've caused a problem or two when they've had the ball, going forward and attacking them quickly. Yeah,
because you did fear the worst for your former club.
I certainly did, especially the way Man City started. And I suppose Spurs knew that. I think when you look at the lineup with Skip and what they've got to the holding midfield players, you knew that it was they were going to have to defend for a period of time, and they've done that really well. Man City's had a couple of chances, but I think Spurs have had a couple of chances up the other end as well, and I think they've weathered the storm and got themselves into the game. And as they've got themselves into the game, they're catching them on the counter-attack, and every time they do go on a counter-attack, they look dangerous.
With those Manchester City chances that came early on, should they have been more clinical, Les?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, this one here, free kick, just gets a flick off the top Skip's head, and that was a chance. But this one here, goalkeeper comes into no man's land, misses the ball, and as it hits Ferrandino's head, you think you're going to see the back of the net ripple, but unfortunately it just goes the other side of the post. Fortunately for Spurs, unfortunately for Man City, and then this ball here, Sterling does well. Last season, Mahrez tucks that away, but unfortunately it comes off his shin and it goes wide of the goal.
You mentioned Spurs on the break, though.
Yeah.
Without Harry Kane, what have you made of the amount of bodies they've got forward?
In terms of bodies getting forward, they've done that really well, but I just think if a Harry Kane's in there, that ball goes in there because he demands it goes in there, and Son should put that in there because they've got two players in there wanting and expecting that ball to come in there. So in terms of that position and getting up there, I think it's a good position. Exactly the same thing again. It's from the other side. That ball has to go in first time. He should be demanding and screaming for that ball to come in. It doesn't, and it sort of goes out for nothing really. Son hangs on to it too much. Little pass back there, then all of a sudden they go back again, and Man City have now got men behind the ball. But they have been dangerous in doing that, and then Son 1v1, and he takes his opportunity and it takes a deflection, and you can see he's screaming to the referee after that, and that should have been a corner, but the referee doesn't see that. But in terms of seeing the pressure, feeling the pressure, and then going up the other end and committing men forward, I think they've done a pretty good job in doing that. They've just got to be more clinical when they get into that good position.
What have you made of the £100 million man in this full debut?
Yeah, I think it's everything we expected from him. He picks the ball up, wants to run at people. I think we're Oliver Skip's very fortunate they're just on the edge of the box. But every time he's picked it up, he does what he does. Gets his body, picks up lots of fouls because he gets his body in the way. And I just think as the game goes on, I think you'll see him and Sterling seem to be linking up really well down that left side. And I think the more opportunities you give them to get on the ball, the more dangerous it becomes. So I think he's done OK in this first half. Nothing too extraordinary, but we'll wait and see what he does in the second half.
The one thing I would say, Les, is that Spurs, I think, other than that first situation with Skip and the edge of the box when he did look dangerous, on most other occasions he's got the ball 40 or 50 yards from goal, and I think Spurs will be quite content to do that. The problem they get is that when he gets it in and around the 18-yard box, because that's when it becomes a problem, 40 or 50 yards away, Spurs are quite happy with doing that.
And that's interesting from what he told us in that interview when he said Pep shouting at him, no, don't go there, like he did with Aston Villa. Yeah. Get forward.
Yeah, I just, at the minute, I don't think that Sterling-Grealish left-hand side link has quite worked at this minute, but they're two very good players and it'll only take a second for it to work.
OK, we will see if there are any goals coming without